Hello and welcome to Movie Trailer Trash. We just watched the trailer for Isle of Dogs.
That's right, baby. It's time for Movie Trailer Trash. Enjoy.
Hey, everybody, as Charlie just said, we watched the trailer for Isle of Dogs. This is Movie Trailer Trash, and I'm Bethany.
And I'm Charlie.
Yes.
Really threw you off there, didn't it?
So let's just jump in. Welcome to the show. If you're a new listener, thank you. Tell your friends, and let's get going. So we're going to talk about this Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, Wes
He's
Anderson.
the producer and the director?
He is the,
And the
writer
writer?
and the director.
Okay. The writer and the director.
A couple other people have writing credits on it, one of them being Jason Schwartzman,
Who is?
who is in a lot of Wes Anderson movies.
Okay.
And-
Black hair?
Yeah.
Short, skinny,
Short guy.
black hair, and he
Uh-huh.
was in the
thing that-
hotel. Budapest. Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, he was in a small part in that. The most
I like
recent
that
thing
guy.
that we watched him in was in Parks and Rec. He's the video store owner.
Yes.
The
I
porn
love that
store
guy.
owner.
He's
Okay.
so funny. I like him a lot.
Um,
and he was in that weird show, wasn't
That
he?
HBO show
That had him and the white-haired guy.
where he's the detective. Yeah. Him and Ted
Zach
Danson.
Galifianakis.
Yeah, and Zach Galifianakis. That's a good show. We should
Ooh,
watch that more.
We should. Okay, so interesting. So he helped write it.
Yeah. And then there's a couple of other ones of people who have helped on other Wes Anderson movies before.
Okay, so for you, those of you out there that may not know anything about Isle of Dogs, first of all, you can take a break and watch the trailer if you'd like to see what we just saw.
Yep.
But also,
And I'm going to do this to remind myself. It'll be in the description, the link to the trailer, and also it'll be on our page for this episode on our website.
So, something for you to know, though, is that this is a claymation movie.
Right. And I don't know if, so Wes Anderson has done claymation before.
With the fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Which I have
and
not seen.
It's not really claymation. It's more of like a kind of...
Stop motion.
Yeah, it's kind of
claymation.
stop motion type
Well,
thing.
claymation is always technically stop motion,
I guess.
though.
But when I think claymation, I think Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And when I think...
This is very Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And when I think stop motion, I think like Kubo and the Two Strings.
Okay, but I think this is a lot more Rudolph than Kubo and the Two Strings, style-wise.
Because it's four-legged animals?
No, because of the style of the things. They look like little dolls almost.
Yeah, that's what they
The
are.
people and the... Yeah.
But Rudolph is like, it's like everything's made
I will
of
tell you
clay.
this. This makes me think a lot of the Adult Swim. No,
Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken. This
Nice.
definitely reminded me of Robot Chicken. The trailer.
Well, the trailer looks really cool and really weird and very interesting to look at, just like all of Wes Anderson movies. What it is basically is it takes place in the future in Japan, and
on the archipelago, which is a grouping of islands.
sure.
He
And,
said it, and I was like, "What's that word mean?" I know that it's a geographical term.
and all of the
I'm just
dogs
proud of myself.
are they're overpopulated with dogs, and there is a dog flu that happens that starts to take over people, and so they send all of the dogs away
To Trash Island.
to Trash Island, where they are sent
Apparently,
to live or die.
one of
or
the
whatever.
islands is just for trash.
And then a kid commandeers some sort of plane and flies to Trash Island to try and find his dog that was taken away from him.
Because he misses him.
And then mystery and corruption and all kinds of stuff happen.
Yeah, so it looks really interesting, that's for sure. It definitely looks like a very unique story, and that's something I think Wes Anderson's really good at. Let's name
Arguably the thing he's best at.
Yeah, let's name a few Wes Anderson movies just to get the ball rolling for people who maybe can't remember.
Well, there's a Fantastic Mr. Fox, like we said before.
Yeah, and that's
There's
one I've never seen.
The Royal Tenenbaums.
Moonrise Kingdom.
The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
I've never seen that one either.
It's really good. It's really weird.
I think I saw part of it one time on TV and was like, this is boring.
I don't think that you would like it very much.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think I would either.
just like, did you like the Royal Tenenbaums?
I didn't when I saw it when I was 13, but I like it now.
Okay, so
It was
there you
way
go.
funnier the second time.
Yeah. And then the Grand Budapest Hotel,
I love that one.
which I might
be my
might
favorite
be my
one.
favorite.
I love that one. However, you haven't seen Moonrise Kingdom,
Or
right?
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
You got to see Moonrise Kingdom. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I think I like both of them. But in this movie, we got a few of his like guys that he uses all the time. But and then also some new people. So I mean, some of Jeff Goldblum, Bill Murray, Ed Norton are in this. Ed Norton was the first person or dog to speak in this.
Okay.
And
Ed Norton isn't normally in his movies though.
Yeah, he was in the Grand Budapest Hotel,
Oh.
and he was in a couple of other ones
Okay.
also. Same with Jeff Goldblum
He's such a good actor.
and Bill Murray. And then Tilda Swinton and Bryan Cranston is that chief, the black
Cool.
dog.
That sounds right.
And
yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is the top billed character.
Oh, okay. So
or
she's
actor, I
probably
guess.
the woman then. The girl.
I don't think that was her. I think she's a dog.
Oh yeah,
I think
you're
she's
right.
a dog.
She's
man.
the orange dog that's telling him,
Yeah.
"Are you gonna help him?" And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, "I don't know, should I?" And she was like, "Well, why should I?" And she's like, "He's a 12-year-old boy. Dogs love those."
Yeah. and so
and then he's like, "We'll do it."
something really cool about this movie that I thought was interesting during the trailer they showed this is that all of the people speak Japanese and all of the dogs speak English. And so English is kind of like just like barking.
Yeah, so like we can understand the dogs. We can't understand the people.
Right.
So we get to know as much as the dogs know. However, I think there will be lots of English parts. Like there's a girl in it who's like
The girl who's like narrating.
yeah, she's like talking about this boy who stole this plane and she's like, "Oh crap, I have a crush on you."
Yeah.
She thinks he's awesome for doing what he's doing. But she speaks English, and then I think that maybe there will be other parts with English with people, but
Probably.
it'll be like outside of Dog Island. Once you're on Dog Island,
Because this guy, the kid
the
comes
Isle
in.
of Dogs.
The kid comes in and he's like yelling at the dogs and he's speaking Japanese, and the Bryan Cranston dog
And he's
is
holding
like,
up a photo.
man, I wish that someone knew what he was saying.
And then one of the dogs is like, "Yeah, we get it. You're looking for your dog spot.
Right.
We get the point. We
Yeah.
get the general idea."
It's like how dogs interact with people
Yeah.
in other movies, which is kind of funny. I bet there will be a lot of jokes like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. I don't know about I'm kind of weirded out by a claymation movie that is for adults 100%.
100%?
That weirds me out. Like there are lots of claymation movies that are for kids, but they have some like adult
we wanted
humor
to
or
see
whatever.
that Anomalisa one. We never
Yeah,
did.
But I heard it was super depressing, and then I wasn't
Um,
sure if I wanted to anymore.
But we wanted to see that one. What about Team America?
Yeah, I never got into that. That's the thing. I don't usually like this style.
That movie makes me laugh.
I'm honestly not a big stop motion person
But I
or
don't-
claymation person.
I don't think that is this style. I think this style is Wes Anderson because the way everything is done is shot just exactly the same as it would be if it were people. Where it's all, like
yeah, but the problem is
symmetrical
it's
and
not
stuff
people.
like that.
It's claymation, and it looks like Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Which I like Adult Swim, but it's short little spurts. I don't know if I could watch a whole show.
I think you would
Like
get
that.
lost in it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if it's a good story and he's good at stories, then you could forget pretty quick. At first, you might feel weird, and then you
Because,
could
like,
forget.
Do you remember the first time you saw Pixar animation?
No, I was
Pixar style animation?
I'm too young to remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was too young to remember that.
Well,
I was probably in 10th grade when Toy Story came out.
yeah. That's not
wait,
too.
I
that's
meant
not
10 years
wrong.
old. I meant 10 years
That's
old.
wrong. You
I
were
was
not
probably
10th
in
grade.
5th grade,
Yeah.
is what I meant.
I feel like, look, maybe this is just looking back on it, but I bet if I were older at the time, that I would have thought like that looks weird. It looks too real, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then now it's the only way anyone makes a kids movie anymore,
Yeah.
which I'm sad about, by the way.
Well, I don't think it's going to be forever. I think Disney is open to making old school animation.
I think they're probably just milking it until it gets.
Well, I think I heard that
goes
they're
away.
thinking about making another old school animation film. They did that with Princess and the Frog, and Princess and the Frog came out, long after all those
What they
Pixar
need to
movies.
do-
They could have done it differently, but they did it old school.
what they need to do is
and it made
to
all the difference.
do it actually old school.
Yeah.
Like someone's got to make a movie that is entirely hand drawn.
But that's what Princess and the Frog was.
Well, no, they use computers and stuff like that to do a lot of the effects and everything.
Well, I'm fine with that as long as it looks the same.
No, but that's the point is that it won't ever look exactly the same.
Do you know how freaking long it takes for them to make those things?
I know, that's why it's special.
But I'm saying even the animation of today. I saw a special on Moana. They're showing how they draw they first sketch the animation, and they sketch it, and the guy had like a really light sheet of paper where you could kind of see underneath it, and he kept flipping it up though to see what was underneath it. He was like doing the next scene, and you want it to look almost exactly like the first one but with a slight variation.
Yeah. That's how they do.
And it was taking him forever, and that was for Moana, which is the new animation. So the computers help speed up the process.
That's how they did every single Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
Right? They drew it, and it was just a big stack of paper that that they went through. And
how did they do that?
well, they just never stopped working.
No, I mean, how do you film that?
Oh,
what do you do with the paper then?
I don't know.
Did they put the paper into a computer?
They didn't have computers.
So how'd they do it? Did they just sit a camera there and somebody with their thumb just flipped through it like a flip book?
Maybe. Is that possible?
No, there's no way. How did it work?
We should look it up.
Okay, well, that's our first task after we are done with this podcast.
Oh, are we going to have multiple tasks?
Sometimes there are tasks.
Action items,
Yeah,
perhaps?
sometimes. Okay, so let's just talk about the story a little bit here.
Okay.
The story looks weird.
Nice.
No, but I mean...
Astute observation.
Okay, so, and that's something that...
But it doesn't look
saying,
that weird.
Well, I was saying, like, you know, how he has unique stories. We've talked about this a lot on our podcast, how we're sick of reboots, remakes, you know, prequels, sequels. We want some more original stories, and we're definitely getting a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Like, the world heard us. The world of Hollywood was like, they're right. And then now we have
There's
more.
just one person
happened to hear our podcast. They're like,
listening,
yeah, we should.
who makes all the decisions.
No, but we're...
It's like the guy who lives in the lighthouse at the end of The Matrix.
I think we are trending in the right direction for more original stories. But you're right. This is the thing that Wes Anderson does. I mean, it's hard for me to describe what happens in his movies.
But
because
here's the thing
it's
about...
not a simple concept.
About this one is that this is kind of one of the oldest stories ever. Boy loses his dog and goes after him. Like that's the pitch for this movie.
But there's some government conspiracy and
but it's just done in a there's a whole bunch of like you said, government conspiracy. It's done in a different way, point of view wise, where it's from the point of view of other dogs and stuff like that. And it's also different with the animation that it's doing. And so that's kind of it's like I was telling you about this the other day where I saw something about how people should be proud of the things that they're copying. Because when you do something that isn't your idea, let's say from the beginning. So let's say Wes Anderson just like saw something or read some story about a boy who lost his dog and he went to find it and it connected with him. And then he just started writing something about a boy who loses his dog, and because he's Wes Anderson, it turned into this madness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, you
so
should
it's like
never
just because you got your idea from someone else,
you should never
doesn't mean you're not amazing.
Write something just because you think it's been done before. Because just the fact that you're doing it will make it different.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, I got pedestaled a little bit.
No, that's true. Hopefully it will. I mean, unless you really suck.
Unless you really suck, exactly.
But the Fantastic Mr. Fox was claymation.
Every motivational poster should end that way. Unless
just
you really
you
suck.
can achieve your dreams unless you really suck.
Yeah.
But okay, the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Neither of us have seen it. Do you know what that's about?
It's about a fantastic fox.
Okay, so you've never read any synopsis or anything?
No.
I have no idea what it's about because I'm curious if we should go and watch that to get an idea of what his claymation is like.
We should watch it regardless because I've heard it's good.
Probably good, yeah.
No.
So there's that. That's task number 2.
Well, do you want to move on to where, when, and how you're going to see this movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Where? When? How?
Are you going to see this movie? All right. Where, when, how, what are you going to do?
Okay.
Oh, I was asking me.
Oh, go ahead.
I am planning on seeing this movie. I'm planning on enjoying this movie.
Me too.
I'm planning on renting this movie.
Me too.
Oh, high five.
High five.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason for me to go see this in theaters. I'm sorry, Wes. There's nothing against you.
He's fine. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's making a lot of money.
He's making
People
his money.
come out for his movies. The thing is,
I'm pretty sure that this is
especially claymation, you don't need to see that in theater.
I'm pretty sure this might qualify as an indie movie.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. I haven't
so.
checked.
I think so. Yeah, there's no way a big major studio picked that up.
But they might because it's Wes Anderson.
That's true. Well, it feels like the type of thing that would almost be better on a small screen.
Yeah.
Because it's claymation. You don't need to see every little nook and cranny
Oh
of
my
detail
God.
of it.
All right. rent this movie. It doesn't come out till next year in March. All right,
which is not so far away. But
I feel like this movie would be best enjoyed, and so this might work out to when it comes out to be able to rent it. When it's cold,
okay,
you're in your living room and or family room.
Mm-hmm.
You have a fireplace.
Oh, nice. So we can't watch it because we don't have those things.
Well, you never know. It's dark. You have no lights on except for the fire going.
The fire is crackling.
You turn the heat off, and you watch this movie under a series of blankets.
Okay, so that's how Charlie's going to watch it in his fictional house with his fictional fireplace.
Fictional fireplace, dibs on band name.
I am going to watch this movie. I'm going to convince my siblings to watch it with me. It won't be hard. I think at least one of them is very excited. Shout out Logan. He asked us to do this on our podcast.
He did.
So it won't be hard to convince them. This is totally up their alley. I've watched so many Wes Anderson movies. The first time I ever saw Wes Anderson was with my sister and my brother-in-law. So sitting down with my siblings and watching this, I know that everybody will be into it, and we can watch it in a dark basement and just hanging out.
And I don't think that you'll necessarily come away from it depressed, but I do think that you'll come away from it like, huh.
Yeah, I don't think Wes Anderson movies don't necessarily have happy endings or sad endings. It is kind of like...
Some of them have sad endings.
I guess, but like a lot of times it's kind of over and then it's over.
Yeah.
It is weird. His endings are weird. But the movies are thought-provoking enough that you want to talk about them.
There's
after.
a lot of the like best, like famous, I guess, but well-respected writer-directors. Their movies have weird endings.
Sure.
And I think that's because they're unique. You're not expecting
If you can see where it's leading in a movie and you're like, oh, I know how it's going to end, and then it ends that way, it's not a weird ending, but also it was kind of predictable.
Like the Coen brothers,
which
we were just talking about the other day, where their movies just kind of like end out of nowhere and there's no repercussions for anything that happened.
Yeah. And sometimes it works and sometimes it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like with Hail Caesar. It's like, that's it?
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah, he just accidentally dropped the briefcase into the ocean, and that's all that happens.
Yeah. But yeah, so I agree with you that like the ending may not necessarily it won't leave you feeling like good, but I don't know. It's just, they're so fun to talk about. They're so interesting, and the visuals. The thing that I love about Wes Anderson is the visuals. I don't think this is with every movie. Maybe it is, though. I know that it was with Moonrise Kingdom, where every single scene was symmetrical.
That's what
perfectly symmetrical.
That's his thing. And it's not every single thing. Like if you were just like tracking the entire movie the whole time.
But I think there's one. Like I think Moonrise Kingdom is.
Most scenes
it's like ridiculously symmetrical.
Most scenes in his movies are set up to be
like if there's a tree on one side, there's a tree on the other, about the same size. Like if there's a person on one side, there's a person on the other, and it's so visually appealing. Also, he uses color, and he's very specific about using his use of color. So this looks like most of the Isle of Dogs is very white and gray, like very colorless. But the dogs have color.
Then at some point there's a bright red.
Yeah.
So like it's like white, gray, black.
And then bright red. Yeah, and so he uses colors.
Which, by the way,
he's very purposeful in them.
I think that might be a nod to the Japanese prints.
What's that?
They're like
print, like a print.
Yeah, not
printed paper.
Not a prince.
I thought you said prince. I'm like, who's the prince?
No, he's more of a purple.
Okay.
They're pieces of art, and they're prints, and they are ink, and so it's the only colors that they have. Where they use black, they use the gray when they wash it out with water, and then they would have either like a red sun or red pink like cherry blossoms on the trees and stuff like that. And so since it's being done in Japan, maybe that's what he was going for.
Call back. Yeah, I think that's one of the things. So even if you don't love the story, because a lot of times they're kind of weird and you're not sure how you feel about how parts of it went, but even if you don't love it, it's so beautiful. It's fun to watch, and afterwards it's like what dreams are made of.
Oh.
Like the Grand Budapest Hotel is just that giant pink building. It looks like something out of a dream. It's beautiful. There's a lot of crazy colors in Moonrise Kingdom. It's all so beautiful.
Well, that being said, let's move on to Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
Okay. Rotten Tomatoes. This is a hard one because it is weird with the claymation. Even though it is Wes Anderson and people will like it, I think the critics will love it because it's Wes Anderson, because it's different, it's unique, it's weird. And I think they're going to give it an 88%.
88%.
And I think that the audience will like it a lot because the people who go to see it are the people who are interested in something really weird. Like, you're not going to accidentally like go to the movies without, sometimes people go to the movies and just like, let's just see what's out. And they just show up. You're not going to go to that one. You're going to see it and you're going to be like, I don't know what that is.
This will get, like you said, this will get basically just the Wes Anderson fans.
So I think the audience will like it because of that.
It might accidentally get some people taking their kids to it, though.
Sure. But I don't think it'll be like super inappropriate either.
No, but it'll just be boring and slow and
it'll be real boring for the kids.
Heavy.
I think the audience will give it. Oh gosh, this is hard. An 80%.
Okay.
I don't normally do the numbers that end in zeros.
Okay.
But I'm going for it. They're not going to like it quite as much.
I think that the critics are going to give this a 90.
Fair enough.
And I think the audience is going to give it a 77.
Okay. So we're close in our ideals.
And I think that you're right. I think that critics will like it a lot more because it's just, if Wes Anderson made anything, they would, give it special treatment.
Critics, they spend all of their time watching movies and studying movies and understanding, especially like movies from back in the day and movies today. And so they really appreciate the art of cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
And he also very much appreciates that.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. And I think it is what makes him good and interesting. So his movies are way slower than a lot of movies that people like.
That's why I think the audience will give it a 77.
Yeah.
I bet that there's going to be not a lot happening throughout the entire thing.
It's going to be a lot of walking through the trash.
Even though the trailer looks pretty, event based, you know what I mean? Like,
but I think they're going to be a lot of just
the
the kid following the dogs, like the shadows. There's one part in the trailer where they're like, yeah, we'll help you, kid. And the next thing you see is like the 3 shadows of dogs and a shadow of a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can see them walking.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of set to music.
Walking,
set to like plinky plonky music.
But yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, he's so good and he cares so much about the art of what he is doing that even people who would normally not be able to sit through that slow of a movie can enjoy his movies. That's the thing I think is amazing about him, and I also think that's why critics love him.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. What's your favorite Wes Anderson movie?
My favorite Wes Anderson movie? I think it's, I don't know. I think it's got to be Grand Budapest Hotel, but I also have a feeling that Moonrise Kingdom and that really Fantastic good. Mr. Fox movie I might like more because I like Life Aquatic, but I think that the only reason is because of Bill Murray, and I don't think
Murray. I could sit through Life Aquatic.
And
from what I've heard of it,
The Royal Tenenbaums is really good, but it's also very depressing.
But it's also very funny. That's what I forgot because when I was a kid, I just remember it was depressing.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, the second I heard that the guy liked his sister, I couldn't get over it. I didn't care if they were not blood related. I was just like, ew.
Oh.
And then I couldn't get over it. But it is really funny. Going back, that's a really good movie. Moonrise Kingdom is really good. But I think Grand Budapest Hotel, man, there's just something about it. The way he tells that story.
And I think
it's like a cool mystery. I don't know. I just love the way it unfolds.
That this one might end up being my favorite also.
Yeah, this looks right up your alley. Because, like, you love Robot Chicken. You love claymation. Like, whereas I said I wasn't a huge fan, you love it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you always get excited. Like, you were excited about Box Trolls.
Oh, yeah, Box Trolls.
And that was a good movie. But, like, I think you always get real excited about claymation more so than I do.
Yeah, because it's cool. It's interesting.
It is cool.
It's people...
The patience that it takes is incredible to me.
Here's the thing about claymation is that, or stop motion or whatever you want to call it, is that you absolutely have to think about every single thing that happens in every single frame or else it'll look stupid and you'll screw it up. And so...
Yeah, you can't screw it up because it's like in a TV show where all of a sudden they filmed it another day and the guy's wearing a different shirt. It'll be too obvious.
So when someone makes one of those, you know that they paid attention to every single frame throughout the entire thing.
That's true. I just
You
personally
can't-
don't love the way it looks.
You can't really half-ass a stop motion movie.
Yeah, but I would say a similar thing to animation
Yeah,
because it is a very patience.
but it's also really
Oriented thing.
obvious when they don't.
Yeah, that's true. It's really obvious.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Parks and Recreation when Ben is unemployed for a little bit and he's like, I'm getting into stop motion, and he makes his own stop motion thing, and he's like, hey, I've been working on this look, and he pushes play, and it's like 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
The
He's
guy,
just
like-
getting out of
The
bed.
guy like turns and stands out of bed, and then he's like, that took me 5 days.
Yeah, sorry for all the Parks and Rec mentions. We've been going through
I guess
them.
yeah, that's weird that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only 2 mentions, so calm down. It's not like we're freaking out.
I'm freaking out.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Hey.
freaking out, man.
Hey, listen, if you guys don't know this by now, if you're new listeners, you'll figure it out. Whatever TV show we are watching, because we like to watch them from beginning to end with Netflix and all the streaming services we have, we use it as a reference to our life all the time. So when we were watching Frasier, you better believe I talked about Frasier on the
You
show.
did a lot.
Well, and you know what? That movie relates to so many more things than most shows I watch. Because it was like twice a day I would tell my coworkers, hey, the other day on Frasier, something happened like that. And they would always make fun of me for saying the other day on Frasier. They're like, that show has been off the air for 10 years or something. Like, calm down.
You're
But
goof.
but anyway, I'm not ashamed of Parks and Recreation. I think it was relevant.
I agree.
So Wes Anderson, I say see this movie. Not Wes Anderson, see this movie.
Wes
Obviously.
Anderson, take a look at your own
I'm
movie.
just saying, if you're interested in something unique and different, this movie's probably pretty cool, but you can probably rent it.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
my opinion.
You can follow us on Twitter at MTT Podcast. You can go to our website, mttpodcast.com. You can leave a rating and review on iTunes, and find us on Facebook. We're on there as well. And as always, you can follow Entertainment Buffet at Entertain Buffet and subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. It's a rockin' good time.
Yep.
Okay.
And thank you so much for listening. We love our listeners. We appreciate you. Tell your friends. Bye.
Good growl, right?
Yeah, was that your goodbye?
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.